Great. We have a few responses that have come in. Hi, Adarsh, you're working as project manager from Kochi. Hi, Imran Khan. Hi, Shweta. Hello, very good evening for everyone. Imran Khan has been working in a bank with 15 years of experience. Great. In various departments. Awesome. Okay. So while we get in more responses, let me also introduce myself. My name is Ananya, and I will be hosting this session on behalf of Simplilearn today. I'm positive that this is going to be an info-packed 1 hour. We have a great speaker, expert also who is joining us. So there's going to be a lot of learning for everyone here. Really great. Really glad to have you all participating. So let's get started. So we have some ground rules for the session that we request everyone to follow. Number one, please drop any questions you have in the Q&A box and not in the chat box. We keep getting a lot of messages in the chat box, so we might end up missing yours. So please use the Q&A box effectively. We'll try to answer all your questions during the session or at the end of the session itself. Secondly, avoid sharing any external link or personal detail on the chat box. Keep the conversations only relevant to the topic. And finally, for your attendance certificate, give us your full name at the poll that we'll be launching at the end of the webinar. You will be getting your attendance certificate from Simplilearn within 48 working hours. And in case you don't receive it or if there is any issue, you can drop an email to webinars@simplilearn.net and we will look into it. Right. So here's a quick look at what we will be covering today. This session is all going to be about what the ITIL 4 exam is about, what its significance is on one's career, and what are the salary growth potentials. Then we'll deep dive into the core concepts of service management as well as learn some unique exam prep strategies. Lastly, we will also take you through Simplilearn's ITIL 4 certification training program and why it is going to be very crucial for you. Right. So just curious to know, has anyone here attended a Simplilearn webinar before, or is it your first time? Please do let us know in the chat. We're very eager to, understand you all better. So you can just type your response in the chat. Meanwhile, hello to everyone who has joined us since then. First time, attending for the first time. Great. Okay. A lot of you are saying first time, so allow me to quickly brief about Simplilearn and what we do. We provide various categories like project management, agile and scrum, business analytics, and a lot more. We've helped more than 8 million people in their career growth across 150 plus countries and with more than 150 partnerships. And speaking of partnerships, you can see the array of partners, esteemed partners that we have here, which includes prestigious institutions and leading organizations as well. But what we're really, really proud of is how we have impacted careers. Our learners have reported a 50% salary hike on average and have also rated us 4.8 on 5 as well. So we have programs taught live by industry experts, top university faculties, and even global companies. You will get a very practical project working experience as well as dedicated support from our cohort manager. And speaking of dedicated guidance, we have with us today Professor Bipin Deshmukh, who will be guiding us through the entire session. He has more than 4 decades of experience in the IT industry and has in-depth knowledge on every aspect, such as software development, program management, quality management, CX management, and a lot more. He has worked for and with companies such as Tata Communications, CTS, SQS, and so on in training their technical and non-technical staff and implementing processes. Bipin, it's a pleasure to have you with us. It will be great if you can also add on to that introduction.
Yeah, good evening, friends, everybody, wherever you are, or greetings to all of you. It's a pleasure of being sharing a stage with Ananya and co from Simplilearn over here. So Ananya has very much briefed about me about my experience, but however, she has missed out on one part, which I would like to add. I've also managed the implementations of the ERPs like SAP, JD Edwards, Oracle Business Suite, and developed systems from scratch, and also headed IT departments in most of the manufacturing industry, FMCG industry, that is fast moving consumer items, and then retail industry and banking industry. So this is to brief about my domain expertise in these areas of services. Yeah. Over to you, Ananya.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. Once again, a warm welcome to you from us.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Bipin, let's start with the first topic of the session, the ITIL 4 Essentials. In this, we'll be covering the basic information and insights that everyone should know before they begin their exam preparation. So, what is ITIL 4 all about, and why is it regarded so highly in the IT industry, Bipin?
Okay, let me talk about service. Now, this is a focus of ITIL 4 is a framework for IT service management. And in general, service, any service management, which is basically enabling digitization, like banking platforms, e-commerce platforms, or booking platforms like Book My Show, or booking platforms like Ola Uber, all and e-commerce platforms like Amazon, Flipkart, then all the other companies which promote their products and services through online platform. For them, this is applicable. This is a service management framework which enables continual improvement of services in line with the value which is to be given to the consumer. Their perception of value is to be understood, and service provider need to deliver value to the consumers. It all talks about the value aspect of the consumer for the consumers. And while giving the value to the consumers, it also talks about how consumers value is given, how consumers can utilize that value, and when consumer utilize value, how the customer satisfaction happens, how we move from customer satisfaction to customer delight to customer advocacy to customer ambassadorship. Once the customer become ambassador of services provided by the service provider, the next step goes into your buying more on the same from the same service provider, and also spreading word of mouth, which will also lead to more business for the service provider. That's how this ties up the entire value system or value proposition, not only for suppliers, partners, not only for the consumers, but also for service providers and their respective stakeholders. Yeah.
Great. That sets the foundation of ITIL very, very clearly. But who exactly is it for? And does it require specific IT experience or expertise?
Not really necessary for having IT expertise. Anybody or any products or service companies who are using a digital platform to deliver products and services to their to their consumers, this framework is applicable for them. They can be utilized. So that can be as good as industry, any industry, pharmaceutical, okay, learning industry, pharmaceutical, edtech, and we can talk about IT and IT enabled services. We can talk about wellness industry. We can talk about the whole sets of industry, including manufacturing, retail, jewelry, then your manufacturer, so companies like selling apparels like Raymond and etc. For all of them, it is applicable area of to implement this, which will enable them to get more business and more services and focus on the customer so that they get more value. Customer also gets value, and the consumer service provider also gets value from that. So this is applicable for everybody. Even if we are not as a part of the IT industry, it doesn't matter. Still, it can be done, and it will understand. It will provide you value. If you're doing this course, it will provide you value to show on and provide weight on the CV, your curriculum vitae or the CV. So you can, or this in most of the industries today, which are providing services, also becomes a selection criteria for initial selection criteria or scrutiny criteria for the CVs. That's also important aspect. Of course, yes, it is people who are moving from project management to service management. For them, it is applicable. Existing project managers, it is applicable. Or people who have done already ITIL other versions, it is also applicable for upgrading their knowledge to the latest version of ITIL framework. So it makes it across, right from the operations person in the operations team to the senior management team member can attend these sessions, right?
Okay. So we saw from your introduction that you've enjoyed, a long and successful career in the field of IT, during which you've assisted many other professionals also achieving a successful career. So, in your experience, what impact do you believe an ITIL certification can have on someone's career success?
See, as I told you, it also showcases that you possess the knowledge related to the framework, basic knowledge which is related to the framework. So it enhances puts weights on your CV in terms of knowledge, and which also becomes a initial criteria for scrutiny and selection. And then you can also, when you showcase the knowledge to the interviewer, it becomes more easier for you to seek a job in today's job market.
Right.
Yeah.
And Bipin, that's how, when we're discussing about career growth, I don't think we can do it without discussing salary growth as well. So the ranges that we see here for various IT roles are quite appealing, starting from 5 to 9 lakhs with the potential to grow to 20 to 30 lakhs in India. So, could you elaborate on the specific roles within the IT industry that are known for, say, high earning potential, and how exactly does ITIL certification align with, salary growth opportunities?
Okay, so that's as you grow from in the career, there are also the growth path which ITL4 frameworks provides you, where ITL4 is a basic foundation course which showcases that you are aware of the basic concepts. If you move towards from operations into little bit of higher management, then you have the management professional certifications, which will fetch you which will showcase that you are able to manage the team with those areas of management professional, which are three areas of management professionals are covered, which we talk about management professional for trade delivery and support, management professional for driving stakeholders value, management professional for the high velocity IT. And also, if you intend to become a CIO or CTO, then these two courses are there, which is ITL strategist and ITL digital IT strategy. So that will lead to, as you grow in the organization, if you do these certificates, which will have added value for your certificate and salary growth in parallel with the roles which you are playing and the growth which you are planning to have down the line in IT. So that's what it helps. And the salary structure is there are two areas of salary structure. One, the capabilities of the organization what you're joining. And yes, this has shown a considerable amount of growth as you do the certification. You showcase the knowledge which you have. Obviously, when you're able to showcase the knowledge and showcase business growth for the organization, obviously organization will support you to grow further in the organization, and not only in terms of roles, but also in terms of salary. I hope that answers the
Great.
questions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, adding to that, as we saw in the previous slide, certified professionals have the capacity to earn 40% more than non-certified peers. That's what the research is showing. So, yeah, with that, we've now clearly established the importance of ITIL certification. So let's take a look at how the exam is structured. Bipin, can you please give us an overview and maybe even share some sample questions after that?
Sure. So we have around this exam is for 1 hour duration. In this 1 hour, you are asked to solve 40 questions. Before we go to the question types, etc., we also have this exam available in local languages for the people who are from foreign countries. This is available apart from English, which is a native language which is treated across the globe. Those who want to take exam in other languages like European languages like French, German, Scottish, Spanish, Brazilian, and so on and so forth. And even these are exams are available in Chinese and Japanese. So for them, those who are not taking exam in English, they get 25% extra timelines for solving those 40 questions. If normal English guy gets 60 minutes, there they will get 75 minutes to solve. And this is applicable not only for the foundation, this is applicable for all the certification courses which are related to ITIL and its growth path. Now coming back to ITIL 4 foundation, in this scenario, we get 40 questions. We will also see the coverage down the line. What are the number of questions in each areas which are asked? But 60 minutes are there. If you do a time management, by average time concept, it takes around you have around 90 seconds or 1.5 minutes to solve each of the question. In most of the questions, it does not take that much of time at all. In some cases, you can solve some question as quickly as 15 to 20 seconds also is possible. This is the average time which has been given to you. Now, as regards to passing percentage is concerned, or pass marks are concerned, there are no questions asked. There is no grace mark given by PeopleCert, which is the examining body for ITIL 4. 26 marks out of 40, if you get, you are declared as certified. And once you are getting 26 marks out of 40, you are certified and you get a certificate which is valid for the period of 3 years. And there are no marks written on the certificate. You get some mark sheet separately. So that's again an advantage. If you are certified, that means even if you get 26 or 40 out of 40, you are still going to be certified professional for ITL4 Foundation. Mark sheet is with you for you to know, but rest is all good enough. And there are various mechanisms to renew this certificate. We will talk about it. We generally talk about it as after the post completion of the certificate. We talk during the session how you can retain the certificate over a period of 3 years. That we'll talk about it later during the sessions. If required, that will be covered. Otherwise, initial people have a intention of clearing it and then retaining it down the line. But retaining the certificate is important from the perspective of making the certificate or keeping the certificate active. That is very important. If you do not keep the certificate active, then you need to give a re-exam after that. Whatever the time you need to give a exam. So that's how it works. There are methods of renewal, which we'll talk subsequently, or we talk during the session as a part of the next steps during the foundation session, which we conduct.
Right.
All right. Having now to throw lights on various kinds of questions, you get 4 types of questions here. The first type of question is basically a standard objective type question. We call it as OTQ here. The reason why we call it as OTQ is because there are no more than 4 options for each of the question. So every question will have 4 options. That's why we call it as an objective type question. The first type of objective question is called as standard OTQ. In this scenario, when we talk about standard OTQ, the question framing is in a way that any area of subject matter comes into picture. Let's say they ask you about the components of the service value system. This is one of the important base of the framework of ITIL4. There are 5 components in it. In that scenario, they will ask you a question. Which of the following is a component of the service value system? Out of that, 4 options would be listed. In one of the options, you will have a right answer. Okay, the 5 components generally of service value system are the service value chain activities, the governance, the practices, the principles, and finally the continual improvement. So out of these, one would be put and rest of the things would be coming from different areas. So you have to select the right one. This is generally a question which is asked on the standard OTQ. Then the non-standard OTQ or a negative standard OTQ questions is same question can be framed differently and say that which of the following is not a component of the service value system. Herein, you will get 3 options which are will contain 3 components of the service value system, and one of the component would not be there. So in that scenario, you have to identify which one is not the component of the service value system. This is question number or question type 2. In the question type 3, we have a missing word question that is nothing but fill in the blanks. Mostly the candidate for this is terms and terminologies across the various chapters which we learn various areas of various subject matter expertise we learn as a concept of the framework. These will come in. They will remove one of the words from the definition and put it under the fill in the blanks. Always the question will start with identify the missing word in the following question. And the missing word would be put in the square bracket and question mark. And you will be given 4 options to handle it. These 4 options, out of that, only one option is right. That's what is the thing which is asked. Now, the 4th type of question which is asked generally, the percentage of this question is no more than 1 or 2 in the entire 40 questions, max 2. I have seen mostly only 1 question being asked. Sometime in rarity, you might get 2 questions on a list question. List question talks about area of subject matter and gives you 4 statements related to that area. Out of those 4 statement 1, 2, 3, and 4, or statement A, B, C, or D, there will be only 2 statements which will match to the question context. Moment that matches, so which 2 matches? The combination of 2 things matching would be either a combination of statement 1 and statement 2 is right, option becomes A. 2 and 3 is right, option becomes B. 3 and 4 is right, option becomes C. And 1 and 4 is right, option becomes D. There is no possible other combination like 1 and 3 and 2 and 4. All right, so this is how it gets into it. So these are the different kinds of questions you get in ITIL 4. Yeah.
Great. Okay. That was a great overview of the exam, but we're not going to stop with just the overview. We also want to deep dive into the core concepts and principles of ITIL 4 and explain as much as possible within the limited time that we have here. So here are the key concepts of service management, all of which will be explored in much more depth in Simplilearn's ITIL 4 certification training program, for which Professor Bipin is a course advisor as well. So Bipin, let us begin with the ITIL management practices, as this module or this
Okay.
topic appears to be the primary focus of many exam questions.
Yeah, I do understand that, but let's just go back one slide where it is important to explain what are the core areas which we cover as a part of ITIL 4 first before coming here. So first, we have definitely the core thing we consider as a key concepts, which is core, which has around 30 odd concepts you will be learning, which basically forms the vocabulary for ITIL 4 conceptualization, and which is globally used vocabulary. So that will give you an idea of about what the terms and terminologies and concepts which are globally used. So we have around a chapter which normally takes 1.5 hours to 2 hours of the coverage and the actual session. So these are the concepts which will come. Then we have, these are the generic concepts applicable to IT irrespective of the uh, provider or service provider or service consumer. And then we have the other areas of service value system, or which is basically the core of ITIL 4 framework. To support that core framework, we require certain pillars, which are called as resources for the service value system, which are called as the 4 dimensions of service management. This 4 dimensions of service management includes the organization and people, partners and suppliers, information and technology, and value streams and processes, which will be dealt in detail during the session. But this is acting as a resources. Without these 4 resources, 4 pillars being put in place, it is absolutely impossible for service value system to transform an input into an output, which will ultimately give value to the consumers. The then we study about the service value system. In that, the central component of the service value system is called as the service value chain activities, which consist of set of 6 activities, which we'll be studying in detail. That also takes around 1 hour, 1.5 hours or so. Then we study about the guiding principles, which take around 2 hours time, or 1.5 hours to 2 hours time. And then finally, the most important part of it is the ITIL practices. Practices has wider applications, and it is a global application. Wider, the scope of practices is wider compared to the processes. So hence, these are very critical. There are overall in ITIL 4, there are around 34 management practices, which are further split into general management practice, service management practice, technical management practices. As for the syllabus laid down by PeopleCert for foundation, we cover around 15 practices in foundation part, and rest of the practices are meant to be covered as a part of the growth path for various management professional and strategic leadership. Yes, now we can move to further slide.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so these are a few of the practices which have been shown as a part of the 15 practices we do under foundation. There are 3 or 4 general management practices which we cover. First of which is a continual improvement management practice, then information security management practice, relationship management practice, then we cover the supplier management practice. These are general, which are applicable to entire organization. Hence, they are called as general management practices. There are practices which are service management practices, which are in all is around 17, but we cover 10 as a part of the syllabus laid down by PeopleCert for foundation, which covers change enablement, incident management, IT asset management, service request then IT asset management, monitoring of event management, problem management, then talking about release management, then service configuration management, service desk management, service level management, service request management. And the last type of practice is a technical management practice where we cover deployment management practice. These are the practices. Normal duration of this is around 4.5 hours to 5 hours of coverage in the 16-hour session. Yeah. And the number of marks which you get allocated for this section is around 24 out of 40 marks. But this is done towards the end of it, because this also is dependent on the key concepts, understanding principles, understanding service value system, understanding service value chain. Unless we understand those in sequence, we cannot go into this. So it's all about progressive learning. But this is allocated the maximum number of marks. More than if you make it 60% of questions are from this area of practices. Yeah. Now, next area is 4 dimension. As we discussed about it, it consists of organization and people dimension, how to make organization structure based on the services the service provider is offering to their consumers, how it is going to be enhanced, how it is going to be modified, how it is going to be dynamically changed based on the market scenarios, request the uh, the output expectations of the consumer or demand of the consumer. All that would dictate how the organization structure has to change to align to market needs and meeting the customer demand in line with the objective of the organization. Then comes information and technology. This dimension talks basically about the 2 areas, which talks about information and knowledge, and talks also about the technology being used for transforming information, the data into information, information into knowledge, knowledge into wisdom is all about this. And what are the various technologies which we use for general service management? What are the technologies we use for IT service management? And also we discuss here about the core characteristics of information and technology, 6 characteristics of information and technology, also related to integrity, confidentiality, and security of information as part of this dimension. Then we talk about partners and suppliers. Now, it is impossible for any service provider organization to have capabilities being developed in all the areas they support. So, in order to enable some of the services, they are requiring partners and suppliers uh, to be provisioned so that they will help deliver valuable products and services to the consumer, so that the provisioning of goods can happen through partners and suppliers. Then value streams and processes are basically how the workflow is built. Okay, it is defined as a series of steps, which is end-to-end process, or it is series of steps which the organization undertakes or uses and creates to deliver valuable products and services to the consumer. Also, it includes the service value chain activities and the processes together. But this differs, and when we cover this, we go into the depth as to how you need to create a value stream for different services, and what are the factors that influence organization choice of the value streams and processes, how we go ahead and do it. Also, we also talk about, apart from these factors, we talk about influencing factors and the constraining factors in much detail. So this approximately takes 2 hours of time, but it is important, worth spending 2 hours, because it's all progressive learning. It helps us in the practices as well. Though the number of questions is meager, around two questions, that is hardly 0.5% of the overall weightage. All right. So this is about the part 4 dimension. Then obviously the guiding principle. These are basically principles are basically recommendation that guides the organization in all circumstances, whenever, irrespective of the changes in the organization strategies, goals, and objective. These are basically a principle. What means, what are the golden ways we do it. Like we say, honesty is the best policy for me, and whatever I do, I'll do with honesty. Similarly, these are 7 principles which the organization needs to adopt in order to make sure that they are delivering products and services in line with the expectations of the consumer through collaboration with their partners and suppliers. That's where the collaborate and promote visibility principle talks about. Focus on value principle talks about how we are able to deliver in line with the expectations of the consumer, not only the first time, but every time the consumer connects with us or the service provider organization. So this is how these 7 principles are there. Each of the principles is dealt in detail with examples, etc. And obviously, this have a little bit more weightage on the principles, is around 6 marks per of out of 40 questions. So that is 15% of weightage is there on this area of section. So that way it will go into the depth as needed. Yeah. Okay. Next is our service value chain activities, which are again very critical to understand, because this is something like heart, brain, or a spinal cord of the service value system. Without this, there is not possible to transform an input, which is a demand, or an opportunity, which is an input, into a product, which is output, and which ultimately, by using the products and services, the consumer will get or attain or achieve value in line with their expectations. So this is around 2 marks question comes in for this area. Again, 5% of marks are assigned to this area. So we will be studying in detail about all these 4 activities, how they enable the organization to deliver a right product in line with the customer expectations. Yeah.
Bipin, I have a question here.
Yeah.
Do you think understanding service value chain and the system in detail has implications and benefits beyond just the exam, like in overall IT practices?
Yes, it does. You can apply this not only to the any services which you're delivering as a part of your professional life, but this can also be implemented in your day-to-day life for improvement of the services which you internally doing, in terms of if you are doing a part of NGO, or you may be part of the corporate social responsibilities. Okay, in that case also those kinds of scenarios can also be handled. Managing the society's related affairs can also be useful using. So this can be applicable in any services, which whether it is professionally driven services or domestically driven services. For all that, it is applicable. If you implement it, it becomes beneficial for you as well as the person whom you are delivering the services to. It is not restricted to
Great.
professional, not IT, not professional. It can be used for domestic as well as social causes. I've seen many
Great.
social organization or NGOs who have implemented this. Obviously, we have helped them to do that. So they have also have doubled up their not revenues, but their social corporate social factor, social index in the NGO industry to a higher level. That's also possible. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for taking us through the key concepts till now. And note to all the participants, if you're looking for a deeper dive into these concepts and also some really good mentoring, you can explore our ITL for foundation training program. We will be sharing all the details of the program as well very shortly. So meanwhile, let's talk about the tips and tricks for clearing the ITIL 4 foundation exam. So if Vipin, if someone wants to clear the exam right in their first attempt, what all should they do?
First attempt clearing exam, first thing is important is make up your mind. Focus on, again, we say focus on what you need to achieve. Do it the right the first time. Concept is applied there. So what we need to do basically is to focus in a way in which our intention is to clear the exam in the first attempt. That's prepare your mind. That is very critical. It is a theory which is everything starts from the mind, and that is very important. And then when you're focusing it, you have to, if your if Simplilearn and trainers and whatever Simplilearn material is providing time and efforts, you have to put in equal amount of efforts there. By undergoing the course, it doesn't mean that you would be clearing the exam in the first attempt. There are a lot of pains have to be taken, lot of commitment from your side is important. B, there are a lot of resources which are available. Utilize all the resources. The resources would be part of the courseware. The resources are also in terms of learning videos. Resources are also in terms of attending the session, the recordings, and there are sample papers which are there, simulation tests which are available in Simplilearn site, which can be used as a resource. And of course, when you connect or you get exam voucher and apply for certification exam, PeopleCert also provides you with a resource which is the official guide, official ebook to ITL4 Foundation. Utilize them. Solve all the sample papers. There are a lot of sample papers available. Make sure that you solve all the sample papers so that you get more the practice, more perfect you become. So that's the concept which is to be used, and everything is available for you to do that. You might, of course, beyond the session, the mentorship is also available to you, which I think uh, Ananya will talk to you about the Simplilearn mechanism for allocating. Once you register it, what are the mechanism for allocation will be taken forward. Yeah. So yes,
Okay,
as we
and
yeah,
what
so
about
yeah, sure, sorry.
what about time management in specific? As you mentioned, it's a 1 hour exam with 40 questions to answer. So,
Mhm.
what are specific things that someone should keep in mind to ensure that they're not running out of time?
So important thing is important thing is 90 seconds allocate to one question. Important thing is don't use the technique which normally people use during the exams in the schools and colleges. There are no optional questions here. Every question is important. Every question carries equal mark, and there is absolutely no negative marking. So even if you what is the by the concept of probability itself, 25%, in case of sure short answers you are definitely right, but in case of doubts, what is the probability of getting the right answer is 25%. So you don't have to worry about the losing marks at all. So it is important that you attempt all the questions. And one important tip during the exam, which we also cover during our next steps before going for an exam, is that basically you don't have to worry about is the timeline. Don't read all the questions at one go. Please don't do that. Normally, in schools and colleges, when you give exam, you read through the questions and you feel whatever the best, you start writing first, which is not to be done in this scenario. Okay, you get lot of things over here. You can, if you want to revisit the question, you can flag it, revisit it after some time, after you complete the rest of the questions, go one by one. When we read the question, we also underline the keywords in the question, which tells us underlining the keyword in the question will give a direct relation to which area of syllabus it is coming from. Once that is understood, it becomes easier for you to convert it to or relate it to which area it is coming. Then underline the equivalent words or equivalent statement in the question option and map them. Whichever best maps is the 100% answer is right. So that's how we go ahead and attempt that. Okay. And absolutely being a 1 hour exam, you need a clear-cut focus on what needs to be done. Exactly. Underlining and all that is a focus area, which you need to see. And don't panic. If you don't know the answer, don't panic. Leave that question, come back, reread it after some time, you will get it. So what people normally happens is one question comes in, the rest of the questions it percolates, panic percolates, or it has a cascading effect. Don't have that at all. Each question, they are not linked to each other. Each questions are separate, evaluated separately. Yeah. So
I guess your advice can be applied to pretty much any exam actually, but it's particularly useful for the ITIL 4 exam
for any
as well, I'm
certification
sure.
exam, yeah, it's for any certification exam, for professional certification exams. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So let's round up this particular topic with a quick checklist of sorts. So Bipin, what is like one thing an individual should do according to you before, during, and after the exam?
Okay. Keep uh, your mind clear. That is first thing which you need to do. Keep your mind clear. Don't take panic of the exam. Don't take tension, which some people might take because they may not have taken some. I have seen many people after a professional career of 15 or 20 years taking these certification courses. For longer time, they have not taken any exam, they panic. So no need of panicking. So that's very first thing which one should do is don't panic. Prepare your mind, prepare yourself that you have to give exam. So back of the mind, whenever you have to give exam, your focus remains on the exam and the topic. That's critical, first thing. Then we need to also understand the, as I told you, we need to understand each area of exam. And once the syllabus is completed, it is important to focus on whatever the sample papers which Simplilearn has put in as a part of the learning management system, answer them. Once we answer and you find out the wrong answer, you understand why your answer has gone wrong. That is very critical thing which we need to do. For that, all guidance is available in terms of all the resources which you have. Utilize the resources to the best of the effect. Okay. Again, in case of doubts, you can go back to PeopleCert manual for ITL4 guide, which enables you to explore it much. But that just in case you require it, it's not necessary to go through it. But all whatever the contents which Simplilearn has on its on its courseware is all accredited courseware, which is extract from the PeopleCert guide. And when we conduct a session, we also have some highly summarized area, which can be very useful for revision purpose. So before the exam, it makes sure that you revise, practice, revise, practice, revise, practice, revise till the time you take an exam. After the completion of syllabus, generally it is highly recommended. That is before the exam, highly recommended that you go through all the exam set of questions by going through regularly, at least spending an hour and a half every day before you take an exam. So that's part of the before the exam. Then during the exam, I also told you about the practice which you need to follow is don't read all the questions at one go. Each question is separate entity. Then apply the tricks which we have spoken about during the exam. Okay, don't get panic. Once some questions you may not know the answer, don't worry about it. Okay, do the guesswork later on. But what sure short questions you have, you answer them first, and then flag these questions where you have doubt, visit the question, read twice, read thrice, and make sure that you underline the things rightly and get to the correct answer. Normally, it has been seen that through the experience and through what people and the learners have narrated, based on that experience, I can surely tell you that whatever the first intuition comes to your mind is 99.9% of the time, that is the right answer. And most of the people go and revise it and make a right answer wrong subsequently. So take care, be careful about that concept there. So normally you should attempt all the questions. And lastly, after the exam, don't panic, don't worry. Your whatever you don't have to worry about, because of the fact moment you it is all online exam nowadays. So it's a rare kind of a prometric exam which is there, which is online, which is proctored in a secured environment by the proctor from PeopleCert. And moment you finish an exam, there is a finish exam button. Moment you click and finish exam button, if you get 26 marks, within moment you click it, within 2 seconds the result appears, which is called as the examiner will congratulate you if you get more than 26 marks, 26 or more marks, and say that this is a preliminary result. This will be validated by Simplilearn or validated by PeopleCert officially within 2 working days, and you get the link to connect with PeopleCert site and download your certificate. And the certificate on the date of the exam, from the day of the exam, you clear the exam, you are done with it. Now, this is after the exam. Now, after you get a certificate, there is the fourth thing which you need to do is to ensure that you are embarking on a journey to renew your certificate from day one of the exam, day one of getting the certificate. So you can log into PeopleCert site with exam certificate number. They will tell you how to garner around 20 CPDs, that is called as professional development units, CPDs, continual professional development units. If you garner 20 per year and in a cycle of 3 years of 60, then you automatically, your certificate is renewed for next 3 years. That's one of the mechanisms to renew your certificate without giving an exam. If you don't do that, obviously, then 3 years time you have to give the exam. In that time, if you not be using the methodology or the framework, you might forget it. So you might have to do same thing again for second time. But after the exam, it is better to go into the mode of renewal of the certificate from day one, where PeopleCert guides you as to what is to be done. They will give you badges. They will give you the CPDs. They will give you certain. They will communicate with you certain work to be done by you. Participation of yours is required. For every 1 hour of participation, you get 1 CPD in a year. Now for that particular area. And such way you garner 20 per year for 60 for 3 years period, automatically certification is renewed. So that's the fourth step people need to take up. Because validity of certificate is as good, you have to retain the validity and show the certificate is valid when you are either growing in your organization or wanting to switch over to the organization. Then all the cases, the active certification is what is asked for. Yes.
Thank you, Vipin, for for those useful insights. I think if someone were to follow all that, all the suggestions, they would definitely feel a lot more confident going into the exam. So now that brings us to the final session where we want to take you all through Simplilearn's ITIL 4 Foundation Certification training. Here is a quick program overview. What you will gain in the program is all the pointers that we've mentioned here. There is a guarantee to clear the exam on your first attempt. There are high quality learning materials, including ebooks, cheat sheets, and a study plan. There are plenty of practice opportunities for you with mock tests, case studies, and over 100 premium questions and simulations. And importantly, you also get 22 professional development units, which are known as PDUs. And additionally, and this also includes your ITIL exam fee. So the course fee that you will be paying also comes with the examination fee. So Bipin, as an advisor for this program, what do you see learners taking away? Like what training option do you recommend?
Further than this or in this?
In this.
Okay, further option is okay. We have spoken about this. The basic thing is about one word if you want to understand from this training is the value. The value of certificate, the value which the system brings you by following this, the value which you give to the customer is a one major takeaway. So your focus on seeing the things would be differentiated, will differ from pre attending the course and post attending the course. So you will not be aware of what value is. Once you do this course, you will be aware of value and how you deliver value to the person whom you are delivering the service. Anytime the person delivering the services is called as service provider, and anybody who is recipient of the service is called as service consumer. So as a provider, this system labels you to understand how to put yourself in customer shoes and understand their needs so that you are consistently delivering the value in line with their expectation. So that's what was the major takeaways, if anything is required for this. And once you understand this concept, then you can apply it for your domestic areas, corporate social responsibility, or any area which is enabling you to deliver services. Always, you will always try and align everything in line with the customer's expectation. That's a major takeaway one can have. And the other courses which we have already discussed about it are the concept, which is ITL 4 introduction part is there. Then the four dimensions of service management, key concepts, service value system, service value chain practices, and the principles which we cover in this scenario. So all the booklets or these chapters are available as a part of lesson in your learning management system. And also we'll be going through depth with the conceptualization of these in detail during the session. Yeah.
Great. Okay. So we want to quickly, bring you to success stories from our learners. This is a record of their testimonials that you see on the screen. Let me just read out a few phrases. Amar Abdullah has reported a 35% salary hike after completing this program and gaining some experience, while Jose Rubin also has had more than 30% growth thanks to the learnings from this program. So, for those of you who are interested, here are the fee details. For Indian learners, it is 32,813 rupees. For USC learners, it's $799. And for our audience from other parts of the world, the exact fee in your own currency can be checked in our program page here. Let me just quickly put that in the chat box for you all to access. Great. So let me just remind you all that the fee that you see here, the program fee that you see here, is also inclusive of the exam fee. So with that, I'm going to launch a poll to take your interest in enrolling in the program. So please do drop in your answers now. And even if you have any queries and you are a little unsure, you need more details, you can click on yes. Our expert advisor will get in touch with you and guide you forward. So yes, please fill in your interest. And while we wait for everyone to show their interest, Bipin, let's look at some questions from our audiences. We have a couple of interesting ones.
Sure.
There's a question on whether a training program like this is actually necessary. How does it compare to self learning? Wouldn't that be sufficient?
These programs will also, apart from having the conceptualization layer, self-learning material is also available in Simplilearn site. Is that if that the question is whether self-learning is sufficient or we can have to go through uh, the 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 interest-related question or LVCs sessions through Simplilearn. That's what the question is. O-
Yes.
Okay. So in this scenario, self-learning will definitely or both together will be very ideal scenario. If you select only self-learning, you might clear it, but the concepts which are required for understanding the examples during the session, which are given to you in multiple ways, multiple sets of examples, which will enable you to not memorize, but also to understand the concept. And during the exam, such concepts would be used by you, not by memorizing, by using an example, by understanding the examples. So it is moreover example-led theoretical sessions, which will enable you to understand the concept better through various examples rather than self-learning. Okay. Yeah, I hope that
Great.
answers the query.
Yes. Yes, thank you for that. And yeah, we've gotten a lot of interest to enroll in the program. So I hope everyone has given their answers. I'm going to end the poll now. Great. And we know that many of you would be eager to know about the attendance certificate. I will be launching another poll now where you can enter your full name. We will generate the certificate and share with you an email within the next 48 working hours. So let me just quickly launch the poll. Great. The poll is live now. Please do enter your full name to receive the certificate of participation. Meanwhile, let's take this last question, Bipin.
Sure.
Shiv Kumar. So he wants to know if this program will help in career growth overall, if even if they are not prepping or taking the ITIL exam.
Okay, if you don't want to take an exam, if you go through the curriculum, what is the benefit? That's right.
Correct.
Okay, fine. You're not interested in exam, but this is a good concept to understand in any kind of a service industry. If you apply this knowledge, it will be very useful for you to understand and put yourself in customer shoes to deliver in line with their expectation. Exam will test your knowledge, but if you are intending to take this course for the purpose of upgrading yourself, that's also a good idea to do, and it will be very useful in any kind of a service industry, because your focus of mind, it prepares this ITL4 prepares to train your mind, not theory, but train your mind to deliver services which enables the consumer to get value from your services. That's what this basically course focuses more on. Okay, I hope that answers the question.
Yes. Yes, and actually we have one more that's just come in. So maybe just last one that we could take. There's someone with 15 years of experience in the banking industry and would like to switch to IT. Does the certification help them for that?
Sure, it can help because you have banking industry knowledge, which is subject matter expertise knowledge is available. When you have subject expertise knowledge, catalyzed by the knowledge on IT service management, it is icing on the cake, and you can shift. But you would be, moreover, after showing the certificate, you allocation of your work would be mostly in the domain expertise area of banking, which will further enhance your career in banking as well as in IT service management. Or generally, it will fast track your career in service management in specialist domains related to specialist domain related to banking, and that would be very useful for you. How digitization enables banking is what is very critical for the banking subject matter expertise to be aware of. That will help you there. Especially the
Thank you.
section
Thank
which,
you so much, Vipin.
yeah, especially the section which we were talking about is right. Generally, the section in the information and technology section within IT service management as a part of 4 dimension, that will help you a lot. Yeah.
Great. Okay. So with that, I'm gonna end the certification poll as well. Right. So a lot of importance, significance of ITIL, and this program has been established very, very clearly in this session due to the wonderful insights from Professor Bipin. Thank you so much for your guidance and sharing your knowledge. Do you have any final remarks to share to the audience?
Yes, see, always it is important. I talk about only two things. One is basically whatever you do, you should enjoy and should come from the core of your heart. If that is there, these two things, then success is just a catalyst. Success is just round the corner. So in whatever we do, we should enjoy and we should have complete commitment towards that work which we do and enjoy our work. Once you enjoy your work, you will always feel happy from internally and it will set up your mind to reach your target. That's what is the parting message. Whatever you
Thank you,
do,
Bipin.
please
Those
enjoy.
were very
Yeah.
wise words. With that, we're wrapping up this session. If anyone has any concerns, I can see one message that they were not able to access the poll. Please do not worry. You can just write to us at webinars@simplilearn.net and we look into it and get back to you. If there was any query that we were not able to answer, or even any feedback that you have to share, please write to us at Simplilearn, webinars@simplilearn.net. And once again, to all the participants, thank you very, very much for spending 1 hour with us. We hope you'll be able to apply these learnings from the session as well as what you'll be gaining from the program to get ahead in your career. Have a great day and thank you. Thank you, Professor Bipin, as well.
You're all welcome. Enjoy in whatever you do and see you soon in the sessions. Bye for now. Enjoy.